So Kobe, starting with you, is there any of these remaining tracks that you see any a different team looking to take a win at this year?
No, not at all. It's been an unbelievably dominant season by Red Bull, and I think the only way another team is going to win this year is Max Verstappen stays at home. Because yeah, I know we've been waiting for the longest time, to be like, there's going to be a mechanical issue, there's going to be something that goes on to prevent Max Verstappen from winning this race. If you think he's gonna make a mistake, that he's gonna spin or something, or something's gonna go wrong in the pits and all that, the strategy is gonna be off. But this Red Bull car is, so strong, so reliable. I know this sounds crazy, but this final stretch of the season, it would actually not surprise me at this point if we see Max Verstappen win every race for the rest of the season. But who knows what could happen? But right now, if I'm the rest of the F1 paddock, I'm really disappointed about my chances moving forward, because it really seems like that Max Verstappen is not gonna. It totally looks unbeatable at the moment.
And I hope Checo can win Mexico. Can you imagine the scenes if he were able to pull that off? But I'm going to go on the record here, and we can clip this and either play it back awkwardly if I'm wrong, or we can tag it they already knew if I end up being right here. But I think Red Bull are going to do it. I think they're going to be the first team to pull off the perfect season, and I say that not just because of Max Verstappen's dominance, but because, again, even though Sergio Perez didn't qualify there, look at the results. Look at where he ended up. He was right there in second place. He got around the Ferraris as well. And you mentioned uh, Alex not winning in Singapore for Max Verstappen, who won Singapore last year, who had arguably the best drive of his career last year in Singapore, was Max Verstappen's teammate, Checo Perez. I think Red Bull are absolutely unstoppable at the moment. And I think with how few races we have left in the season, with how dominant they look right now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say they pull it off. I think they win every race from here on out. Max will obviously get the majority of those. I hope Checo can get Mexico, just for what that would mean for him and the unbelievable atmosphere that would be. But I think Max Verstappen, in particular, obviously 10 wins in a row, despite what Total Wolf says about that being nothing more than a Wikipedia stat, it is a tremendous, tremendous achievement, and he deserves a lot of credit for it.
With those races, I anticipate Red Bull. They're going to be the easy favorite. It's just something where it's going to be maybe Sergio Perez, most likely Max Verstappen. But if there's anything I'm looking at, three particular races: Japan, Brazil, and maybe Singapore. What have we seen in those three tracks compared to the others? Rainy conditions. If we have a wet Japan, that opens the door for a lot of folks. We've seen Max, he's really good in the wet condition, especially that phenomenal drive in Brazil his first year with Red Bull. But overall, I feel like it looks like it's going to be straightforward Max Verstappen dominance throughout the rest of the season. But with those three tracks, if we get wet weather, that might open up some opportunities for everyone. Particularly, I'm thinking Alonso. He's really good in the rain. Lewis Hamilton seems to be hit or miss depending on what the car is doing and the conditions and which track. But I mean, Qatar, I think Max Verstappen has got to be the favorite. Coda, Abu Dhabi, Las Vegas might be a wild card. I'll be shocked if there's rain there. Not very often that happens in Las Vegas, but just the nature of being a brand new track, maybe. But I anticipate Red Bull is still going to be the favorite for that weekend.
Well, just a couple things to follow up real quickly. Miami was a bit of a wild card last year, and we've seen what Red Bull and Max Verstappen have done on that track so far. So I expect Vegas will be more of the same. But also to your point about the weather, I think you mentioned it as well. But when did really, aside from winning his maiden race in Spain in 2016 after the Mercedes men took each other out, what put Max Verstappen on the map? It was that unbelievable drive in Brazil in the wet weather. So I just think that, even though we call rain the great equalizer, and I suppose maybe drivers are a little bit more prone to mistakes or accidents when you have wet conditions, we're talking about Max Verstappen here and how good he is in the wet. I just think there's too much going for them right now to say that. I mean, it's going to take a mechanical issue or some sort of unforced error or something not of their own doing to stop Red Bull from the perfect season at this point.